Hi, my name is James Sharmack. So I just wanted to talk about what my lender is doing or not doing as a result of the president's announcements for the student loan interest and the student loan payments. Because if you've seen it, basically he's trying to insinuate that all student loans would be frozen, no interest, and then you could just freeze them for 60 days. That's not true. That's not every single loan. So I checked my lender. My lender is Navient. And if you go to navient.com/COVID-19, it will have updates on COVID-19 and your student loans. So what I want to do is I want to go down. And they're not saying so much that it's an interest. The interest being delayed or whatnot. They're more trying to get you to refinance your loans, change them around, defer your loan, forbear your loan, whatever. So you can have that much longer to pay. Because that's what they were. It's if you've been impacted by the coronavirus and are having difficulty making payments, we're here to help explore your options to reduce or postpone your payments. That just means you have to pay it longer, of course. While we are doing our best to ensure our call centers are sufficiently staffed, you can always access your account 24/7 on our website or automated voice services. You can make a payment and learn about different repayment options, including deferment, online. Just log into your account and go to repayment options. So, it doesn't say anything at the top about, the interest or, that, you don't have to pay for 60 days. Frequently asked questions, we're going to go down. Because basically it's just, the options are, apply for a different repayment plan option, apply or recertify an income-driven repayment plan, or request a deferment to postpone payments. White House interest waiver. This is under that page, navient.com, COVID-19. What is the student loan interest waiver? In response to the impact of the coronavirus outbreak on Friday, March 13th, President Trump announced that the U.S. Department of Education, the Department of Education, will waive interest on all federally held student loans. When will the waiver begin? The waiver will be effective March 13th. The waiver will be automatically applied to all Education Department-owned student loans. That's important. It may take some time to change or show up on your account, but when it does, it will be retroactive to March 13th. What loans will the waiver apply to? The zero interest rate will apply to those student loans owned by the Education Department, including all direct and all ED-owned Education Department-owned federal family education loans in any status and repayment, school, grace, whatever. It says you can always check your account to see who owns, and primarily if you've had to defer or whatever, the loan company owns your loan, so you're not getting an interest, nothing. Are private education loans eligible? This interest rate reduction applies only to loans owned by the Education Department. So if it has to say the Department of Education owns your loans, otherwise you're not going to get it. How long is it in effect? The zero interest loan will remain in effect until student loan servicers are notified by the Education Department of an end date. Do I need to do anything to get a waiver if I have eligible loans? No action is required to be part of this interest waiver program, so they probably would have let you know what's going on. A tip for Navient customers. Once our systems are updated, you'll be able to see the interest rates on each loan detail page in your online account. Loans reflecting zero interest rate qualify for the waiver. So I checked mine. I still have interest coming in, so I don't qualify. Remember, this adjustment is retroactive and will be effective as of March 13th, 2020. Does this change my monthly payment amount? No. Your monthly payment will remain the same even if you are in an alternative repayment plan, such as income-driven repayment. You still have to pay a loan every month. If you're currently in a deferment or forbearance, you will remain in that status through your scheduled end date, and you will continue to not have a payment date until then. So they want you to do the deferment. They want you to forbear. That's what the president said in his speech. Go to your provider and, see about getting that forbearance. Whatever. To view how your payments are allocated and applied, log in. What if I'm still struggling to make payments? If you're having difficulty making payments, we encourage you to call the number to explore your options to reduce or postpone your monthly payments. Depending on your loan type, you may be able to benefit from both a reduced payment and the 0% interest rate. Even if your loans don't qualify for an interest waiver, there may still be options to address your needs, which, obviously forbearance and deferment, which, you don't want to do, but you probably have to do, right? What happens if I consolidate during a waiver period? Your servicer will certify the loans for consolidation using the statutory rate. This is not a temporary rate, so they'll take over. National Emergency Disaster Forbearance. This ED-owned loans. Again, this is owned by the Department of Education. What does this mean for me? As a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, ED has announced they will provide relief to federally held student loans in the form of a non-capping administration forbearance. Non-capping forbearance will be in addition to the previously announced zero interest rate. That means they can't do anything. They won't take your money as long. They won't, ask you to pay as long as it's owned by the Education Department. What is a non-capping for administration forbearance? Forbearance is an option that temporarily postpones your loans. With a non-capping administrative forbearance, interests that has occurred during the forbearance, which may be zero as the interest waiver is in effect, will not be capitalized. That means if you don't have to pay, they will not charge interest, and it will not, increase. What loans will this forbearance apply to? This forbearance will apply to only those student loans owned by the Education Department, including all direct and Education Department owned federal family education loans in any status. So if your loan is owned by the Education Department, fine, you're okay. If it's owned by the provider, you still have to pay every month. What if you have other loans, not ED owner, having trouble making the payments? We can help. You can contact us about postpone your payments. Alternatively, you can also explore repayment or deferring or postponing your payments. To apply, log into your account. How do I know what my type is? Tip for Navient customers. You can easily identify if you have these loan types on the account summary page after logging into or creating your online account at Navient.com. If this type is direct, then your loans are eligible. If you have a different type of loan, then eligibility for the interest waiver is determined based on the owner of the loan. So, obviously the federal government will not charge, but if your loan is owned by somebody else, they're not legally required to say, we're going to charge zero for the interest, or we're not going to take a payment. If you're unsure who owns your loan, go to the loan details for each loan and scroll to the bottom to find a current owner. If ED is your current loaner, that means your loan is eligible for the forbearance. So, as I just stated, if your loan provider owns your loan, you're out of luck. Sorry. How do I request forbearance? Well, if you have 31 days past due, we'll process this forbearance automatically onto your. So basically, if past due on an education, basically they'll postpone your payments until they will give you the forbearance. Note: Education Department recently announced you can postpone payment for at least 60 days from March 30th. That based on Education Department direction, we will be processing this forbearance initially through 3/31 for past due loans. The forbearance end date will be shortened or extended based on the Education Department direction. You can also request to have this forbearance shortened at any time. So they still want your money. And obviously the loans are still owned by, the loans have to be owned by the Education Department. If you were not 31 days past, you will need to contact us to request this forbearance. Alternatively, you can explore your repayment options, deferment options online, and logging in by. Okay. Will I be responsible for interest that occurs during this 12-month forbearance? As I stated, as of March 13th, all Education Department-owned loans will not pay interest. Therefore, interest will not occur. Once the Education Department removes the waiver, then interest will happen. You will remain responsible. Will this forbearance affect my progress toward loan forgiveness? Yes. Based on current rules, if you are an income-driven repayment plan, any period of forbearance will not count as a qualifying repayment. So basically, if you're trying to get forgiveness, you're kind of screwed. Payments made during these periods of forbearance will also not count as qualifying payments. Ooh. So either way, you're screwed. If you don't pay, it's not going to count. If you do pay, it will not count either. So that's interesting. This means you'll stop making progress towards forgiveness unless you resume payment. So what they want you, it's basically saying don't. Because if you want forgiveness, don't do anything. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Will this forbearance count against my voluntary forbearance time? No. Can I shorten this forbearance later? Yes. Contact us to remove a shortened forbearance at any time. Can I make payments during this forbearance? Yes. We encourage, ! Yes. We encourage you to make payments whenever possible. So, let's recap. If your loan is owned by a service provider, you're out of luck. You still have to pay. They want you to defer or get a forbearance or something, which we probably have to do, right? So, it's probably not an option for me. I probably have to do it. You guys probably have to do it too. But if your loan, you check your account, and you see who owns your loan. If it's the Education Department, then the interest should be fine for you. The payment should be fine for you. So there you go. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this brought some kind of intelligence, or you learned something, or you figured it out or something. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thought you guys ought to know, just because I was curious to find out my own options. I'll probably have to just defer, forbear, whatever. It's going to have to. I'm going to have to do it. So whatever. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for watching.